What's up, winners? Today, I'm going to share with you the mathematical formula that literally saved my sales career. As salespeople, we usually have dozens, if not hundreds of things that we could be doing at any given time. I know for me, I would constantly go back and forth between, Slack, responding to emails, following up on an opportunity, going to the coffee machine, spending half an hour there. All of a sudden, time goes by and you're like, what happened today? What did I get done today? And what I realized, or what it led to ultimately for me, was a high degree of anxiety, a high degree of burnout, because it felt like I was doing all these things, but nothing was really getting done until I came across this formula. And so the formula is actually relatively simple. And what it's going to teach you is the value of your time. Whether you're talking about top CEOs, top salespeople, top athletes, top musicians, it doesn't matter what field you're talking about. They manage their time very differently than the average individual. They have a set value of their time, and they know how valuable their time is, and they will remove anything that does not belong there. And so this is the formula for figuring out what the value of your time is. I kid you not, this helped me so much once I had this aha moment, okay? So this is the formula. It starts with your annual income, okay? Now, what you could do if you want is you could take your previous year's annual income and use that to calculate the value of your time, but that really only gives you the value of your time last year. What I want to figure out is what is the value of my time based on what I want to make this year? Because, and you'll see how this plays in, it'll dictate your actions a little bit more. So it's your annual income divided by your time spent on RGAs per week. For those of you who don't know what an RGA is a revenue generating activity. So that means you're either creating pipeline or you're advancing pipeline. Okay, so you should be able to figure this out pretty easily. If you look at your calendar, you should be able to dictate how much time per day, per week you're spending on RGAs. We just did a survey of this with like over 200 sales reps yesterday, and the majority of reps are spending anywhere between 1 to 3 hours or 0 to 3 hours on RGAs, okay? Revenue generating activities. Because the reality is you do a lot of tasks, right? You can do a lot of things, but not all of them will lead to more ACV at the end of the day. What you want to figure out is what is the value of my time that I spent on ACV generating, revenue generating activities. And then you multiply that by 48. Okay, so we have 52 weeks in the year, 4 weeks on vacation, we have 48 weeks. So this is how that calculation is. And I'll do a live demonstration with you, all right? Just to show you how powerful this is. So annual income, what do I want to make this year? Transparently, I would like to make at least 500K this year. So 500K is at the top of the formula, okay? At the bottom, my time spent on RGAs per week, it's about 5 hours per day right now on average. Maybe closer to 6, but I'm gonna be conservative and say 5. So 5 hours per week, so that is 25 hours, or sorry, 5 hours per day, that's 25 hours per week. Hours per week, okay? Times 48. So let's do the math. So it's 25 times 48. That gives me 1,200 at the bottom, right? So 1,200. 500K divided by 1,200 equals 416. Okay. That means that an hour of my time is worth $416. So if I'm doing anything that is not worth $416, I gotta check myself. I gotta be like, why am I doing this thing? And do I really need to be doing it right now? And so there's 3 ways you can approach this, right? I'm not saying all of a sudden you get to delete or get rid of all your admin tasks right away, right? But there are 3 things that you can do. What you want to average is you want to average somewhere between 4 to 6 RGAs per week. That is like really the sweet spot. And the time where you're going to be able to get focused work done. So if you're going through tasks, if you're going through a list of things and you're not sure whether or not it belongs, here's the 3 things that you should be asking yourself. If it's not worth $416, so again, if you're not advancing or creating pipeline, can you delegate it? Okay, so there are a lot of tasks that are important, but maybe not pressing or not things that you need to be doing, right? You could get support from your SE, you can get support from your BDR, your SDR, you can get support from your manager, you can get support from your VP. Is there anything on that list that you can think, hey, someone else can help me with this and take some of the pressure, take some of the time off of my shoulders? Okay, that's one. Number two is, can I defer it? Do you really need to be doing it right now? If you have a day where you've only gotten 1 hour of RGAs done, but then you have 2 hours of admin tasks later in the day, do you really need to do those admin tasks today, or can you push them off to another day when you're going to have more time for RGAs and the time for the admin? Okay, so look at that, right? Because again, we want to have consistency of doing somewhere between 4 to 6 hours of RGAs per day. And then the last one is, I said it already actually, it's delete. I would guarantee that about 20% of the things that are in your calendar right now don't need to be there at all. So those internal meetings that you're never really going to contribute to, right? Those random like check-ins and checkpoints that sometimes just end up being a waste of time, right? If you're doing too many check-ins with a client, sometimes that actually sends you in the wrong direction as opposed to the right direction. Are you with an executive? Are you at a high level? That's again another video in and of itself, but look at your calendar and ask yourself, what can I delete and replace with RGAs? So this is the mathematical formula that honestly literally saved my sales career. Once I figured this out, then I was able to take an objective look at my calendar and have a far better prioritization system in order to address it, right? To ensure that I'm making the most of my time and that I have the best shot of accelerating my sales income and my sales career. Now, the one thing that is important to note here is the income that I'm looking to make, or the income that I was looking to make when I did this at Salesforce, that's a 1% income, right? It's a top 1%, it's a top performer income. So the other realization that it made me come to is, hey, if I want to earn what the top 1% make, I got to be able to do what the top 1% do. And so that is exactly what we're teaching on our Transformation Tuesdays every week, every Tuesday for the next 90 days. We are doing a live training sessions to show people the mindset, habits, and selling skills of the top 1% in sales performance. So if you're interested in that, there should be a link in the comments somewhere here. Go ahead and click it, check it out. Hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you on the next one.